What is going on, everybody? Antonius DaGamer here, back with another review, this time for the Battlefield 6 Open Beta. Now, if you've never watched one of my reviews before, I'd like to start off with the too long don't watch, aka the highlights of the review we're about to deep dive into. So, the TLDW for this particular video is, Battlefield 6 does seem to have the potential to accomplish all it's setting out to do. That being said, I still don't think you should pre-order. Third, this isn't a Call of Duty killer. It's Battlefield returning to what it's supposed to be. And that's fine. And lastly, all the complaints that I've seen so far, as well as the ones that I have, are things that I think could generally be fixed. Now let's get into it. Now, a little bit of backstory about me when it comes to first-person shooters is that I fell out of love with the genre somewhere around the era of Call of Duty Black Ops 1, the original one, as well as the original Modern Warfare 3. The whole get good fast element of these games got old fast. So fair to say there was a bit of just skepticism with a little bit of curiosity when I got into the Battlefield 6 open beta. The skepticism coming from, there is no way I'm going to get good fast in the span of 2 weekends. What I really did come to appreciate about the open beta is that it allowed me to get good in a certain niche. I quickly realized that assault mode was not going to work out for me. So I ended up switching to support. And by the time that beta ended, I was a medic support stealth ninja, reviving my teammates in situations that shouldn't even seem possible. I also became really good at riding around in the tank, not driving the tank per se, but hitting people up while riding shotgun in the tank. Now, one of my first cons about the beta is that a lot of the stages felt very abstract and detailed, for lack of a better term. What I mean by that is there was essentially so much going on that none of it really stood out, with the exception of a few different landmarks within the maps themselves. So especially when you're on a stage where it's a little bit more dusty, dirty, the buildings and the ground are kind of matching the camouflage of the opposing side, you find yourself getting shot left, right, up, down, and center, and by the time you're trying to orient yourself and revive, you're shot again. And it just didn't feel like there was enough ways to really lock in on, okay, I'm getting a better feel of where to kind of pinpoint the enemy. I also feel like some of these stages could do with better indicators of what's scalable and what isn't. For example, there was this one map with like a cliffside where some of the cliffside you could run up, climb up, jump up, and other parts of it you couldn't. But at a glance, you can't really tell which one of those parts does which. And I just feel like some of those things need to kind of be ironed out. Also, maybe it's just a skill issue and not knowing how the layouts work in Battlefield, but I feel like having the mini map in the bottom left corner only didn't really help me personally. I'm somebody who kind of prefers the map in the upper right corner. It's just easier for me to tell what's going on. So when I'm trying to run around, trying not to get shot for the 5th time, and also glancing down on my screen like this, again, a lot to try to keep up with at once. There's also this very weird weapon discrepancy that was going on. Now, to be fair, this is an issue in pretty much every shooter in existence. There's always going to be the superior weapons for whatever reason, no matter how much balancing they try to do. But what I kept noticing during the beta was that the shotgun in particular was like this unstoppable weapon. Now, granted, at close range, it is what it is, right? A shotgun is supposed to do what a shotgun is supposed to do. But I kept finding myself getting into gunfights with people from a medium to long range and still getting blown away by a shotgun even though I'm emptying the clip into them. And I just felt like, okay, either the hit detection here is off, someone's cheating, which apparently according to the reports, a lot of you were, or these guns just they're not balanced where they need to be. Also, some of the rules and power of these weapons weren't quite clear defined. I wish I had gotten footage of this, but during the second weekend, I tried to do a little bit more sniping just to kind of get a feel for it. And it was weird how if I got a headshot, it was a headshot. Didn't matter how far away I was, they're done. However, if I hit them in the chest from the same distance, not only did they not die, but they would get up and run off. And there was one time where I ended up stumbling across an enemy. I essentially fired my sniper rifle because I didn't have anything else. And I know, like, just based on where they aim, where I hit him. And I'm like, this is like a rifle. It should KO him right away. And it didn't. I still ended up being the one in need of a revive. And it just didn't seem right to me. Like, so this gun is only good for headshots? It can do nothing else? Huh. Now, of course, one of the cons that I have to point out is the rampant cheating. I understand to some degree that there's only so much the Battlefield team can do about that. Even when they're regulating it in the future, it's still going to be hard to get rid of every cheater. But I just find it crazy that a lot of these weirdos, and you are a weirdo for doing this, of finding a way to cheat during an open beta for a game that's not even out yet. Like, you trying to decide as a player whether or not it's a skill issue why I'm getting hit up so much, or the person is using some type of aimbot, is insane to me. It's not that serious. It's okay to be bad at a game, especially during a demo period. This whole I have to win by any means is such loser behavior. It's mind-boggling at this point. I'm like, I wish more people would come to terms with it's okay to not be good at something, especially at first. It's okay to not be the best at something, right? You can be fairly good and get really good with practice, not cheating. And now for some of my pros. Now, what I will say is, during my time playing the beta, the potential for fun seems almost endless. What I mean by that is, I didn't expect to spend almost 30 hours between 2 weekends on a first-person shooter genre. But that's how much fun I was having. Learning the classes, learning the weapons, learning what attachments fit my playstyle better. It was genuinely a good time. There was matches where I was easily the worst player on the team, and other ones where I kind of held my weight. And just the variety and different approaches to the battlefields felt fun. I will say, as kind of a backhanded compliment, I think that once the classes get balanced out a little bit more, I think the potential for fun will grow even higher. Because what I did notice is, yes, while I was, again, MVP of revives during most of my playthroughs, the support classes' weapons did not seem to be the most utilized for survival. So yeah, it's cool that I could throw a smoke grenade. Cool, but can I throw more? Can I unlock the ability to throw like 5? I mean, if my whole thing is supposed to be for support on the battlefield, I'm not supposed to have necessarily the most offensive power in the world. I should be the defensive champion. I should be able to not only use the defibrillator, but I'm sitting there throwing smoke. I'm going in like the medical ninja that I am and kind of getting out. I just kind of felt like they kind of skewed too much towards one really good thing per class, and everything else kind of suffered. So I feel like once they kind of get that figured out, there's a lot of ways to have fun in this game. You could be sniper extraordinaire, the person who has the tanks pulling up on the battlefield. You know, I think there's a lot of good that can be had in this game. A lot of long-term fun and engagement. Now, lastly, before that last statement ages like milk, what I will say is, why I said at the beginning of the video, don't pre-order just yet, is I hope that EA doesn't EA. And what I mean by that is, to be fair, like most companies, the desire to monetize above anything else usually leads to players suffering at the hands of corporate bigwigs that want to make money as much as possible, as fast as possible. And I think for a game like Battlefield, especially after a hiatus, especially after the last entry not being as well received, I think this is the meal you need to prep carefully. You need to make sure that it's of quality. You need to make sure that it is running at the highest possible fidelity and again, quality that you can out the door. This whole recent report of they're already thinking about annualizing the release. It's like, let's not, and 2, let's not get ahead of ourselves here, right? Like, this amount of good numbers on an open beta does not always translate to sales. And people's memories, especially when it comes to a very well put together YouTube video essay, aren't as short as you think it is. There are people who are going to be like, man, I want to get this game, but I remember EA did this with this, EA did that with that, they didn't listen with this, they try to monetize this, and it's going to just lead to a, if not outright distress, skepticism for sure. So what I would say is, don't pre-order. Wait until the reviews come out. Wait until the servers are tested. Make sure everything is running the way it needs to be. You don't need to be sitting there hitting the fist of rage at the game once you buy it, only because you were so excited that you didn't realize that they, hit a couple shortcuts, a couple things that needed to get addressed, didn't get addressed, and they were already in the make money, print money, make money, print money era of their run with Battlefield. So that being said, I definitely want to know what you guys think. Did you love the beta? Did you play the beta? Are you planning on getting the game at release? Are you ignoring everything I just said and you're going to pre-order anyway? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time.